live in an age of instant gratification. However, transformation takes time and it demands perseverance. This episode explores the strategy to survive the times of change patiently. Hello everyone, welcome once again to this Wow series, Words of Wisdom series. We have been journeying together, reflecting on hope that we will find during a time of transition. And transition is a process. It's not a destination. It's like a process. It's like almost like this road that you can see behind me. Have we reached our goal? No. Have we left the place? Yes. We haven't reached a destination, but we are still on the road. And it is important that we continue the journey. We have to go through the journey to reach the destination. We cannot halt it, stop it. We are allowed to take a break, but we have to continue the journey. The transition we have been discussing is the transition that caused by shame and sin. A lot of the time, people give up. We go to gym, we have this wanting this spring summer body. We all go into the gym, we want to look smart and kind of really sculpted. But within few weeks, we want to give up. Nah, I don't want to I like to have a six-pack, I like to have my muscles, but I don't want to put the effort. The process is halted. And it is the same principle when we go through this time of change. We're going through our own transformation. When I went through my own transformation, my counselor, my psychologist told me many wise things she told me, and one of them was, stick to the process and the process will save you. It's almost like I have been taught in the seminary, stick to the rules and the rules will protect you. In a similar fashion, my counselor told me, stick to the process and the process will save you. When we go through the time of transition and we know that we are working on our lives and we don't want to be in the valley for so long, of course we are in the process. Somehow we want to get out of this process and reach our goal because that's where we want to be. But sometimes we lose focus in that sort of anxious wanting to be there, reaching the goal. We can get distracted in the process. Now, what do I mean by sticking to the process? Goal is important. I had a goal. People have told me, you have no future. So I had a goal because I knew there are things in my life I have to really work on. Maybe my anger issues, maybe my impulse issues, my character issues, my attitude, my self-control issues. I had to work on things. Maybe I had to know a lot about my family of origin, where I come from, a lot of things that is going on in my life. And then I thought, yes, I'm going to work through this, but because now I'm really hopeful, because God in His mercy has allowed me a time where I can see some of the struggles that I have to attend to and work through. And when I accepted it, I said, if I work through it, then I can reach my goal. So for me, my goal becomes so attainable that I can reach my goal because I realized, yes, what is happening to me is authentic. What is happening to me it's not something sinful, but it is actually really good. And if I really stick to this, tending to the things I need to change and I need to integrate into my life, one day my goal will be accessible. But for that, to that to happen, I really have to stick to the process. That I had certain things needs to be changed in my life. And if I become faithful to changing them, then the more I become so sincere and faithful to the things that I really need to work and integrate into my life, the easier, the sooner I can get to my goal. So yes, there is a goal. It is attracting me, but it is not making me anxious to reach there so soon. Because that goal is only attained after I go through this process. So what is more important? Is the goal or the process? To me, when I was going through the change, the process was more important. And my faithfulness to the process was more important. So another strategy that helped me to really go through this time of transition is this anthem that my counselor taught me. Stick with the process and the process will save you. Stick with the process of change, the process of transformation, and the process will save you. Don't worry too much. Don't get hung up on the goal. Or don't get disappointed that the goal is not attainable by 1 day or 2 days. But rather, look at the process of day-to-day things. And what are some of the process I went through? The process of counseling, the process of study, the process of understanding my family of origin. And one of the painful processes I had to go through was building the relationship with my father. It has no direct impact to my goal, but God gave me an opportunity to really work on my relationship with my father. And strangely, I don't know how these are the way God works, but that is the same year my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And I was given an opportunity to do a palliative care with him. And it became part of my process of change. And as a priest, doing the palliative care with my dad was something transformative. The doctor said to my brother, your dad doesn't have many days to live. He's going to die. And the best thing he can get is the care from your brother who is a priest. And obviously your dad is a Catholic. So why don't you ask your brother to come and be with your dad? And I went there. I was actually studying about my family of origin and things I had to change. And I really realized that I have to work on my relationship with my father. And then grace, fortunate, unfortunate, I do not know, ironical, I would say, my dad is sick. And there I am 3 months with my dad, nursing him, wiping him, helping him, feeding him, looking after him. Every single day I said mass with him. Every single day I did anointing of the sick with him. There's one time I even heard his confession. I slowly prepared him for his death. And he died. But I was rising through his death. There was one time I locked the door of my dad's room and I knelt beside him and I said, Dad, I have been very cruel to you in my thoughts. I have misunderstood you. I'm really sorry if I have hurt you through my words. Even though I was a priest, I was very harsh on my dad. And we had this beautiful moment of forgiveness and reconciliation. It was part of the process. It was very painful, but I had to go through it. And I would even now say my dad saved my priesthood. His death actually helped me to really embrace my calling. And that was part of the process. Another part of the process is regularly be attentive to my counseling. Really work on every single thing my therapist would say to me. And really actually be very conscious about myself, sticking to it, not giving up on it. So my dear brothers and sisters, if we are going through a time of change, And our preoccupation is always with the goal that I'm not reaching the goal. Forget about it. Forget about it. Stick with the process. What am I doing today? I'm doing everything that I will change, and I will do it and again until I become the best version of myself. And I'm prepared to give any price for that. Because I know it's not the goal that is changing me, but it is the journey that I do towards it. It is the weights I lift every day. Maybe it may take a whole month or 2 months to give me a well-defined muscle, but I have to put the effort in it. I may not be able to see in the first day or the second day or third day, but I may see it eventually. I may not only see it, I feel it. And I feel like I'm getting stronger. My muscles are stronger. So that is what the process does to us. And we have to become faithful to the process. But don't worry. This process, if we are faithful to the process, there will be a Simon the Cyrene every now and then giving us a break, carrying our cross. There will be a Veronica coming, wiping our face to giving us a bit of consolation. There will be a group of people maybe sympathizing with, like the woman of Jerusalem sympathized with Jesus. There will be very close, dear ones with us, who travels with us, who sees our pain, like the disciple John and Mary, the mother of Jesus, traveled with Jesus. But the way of the cross, Simon the Cyrene did not stop Jesus. Jesus, hey, don't worry, don't take up the cross. Finish, I'll do it all the way through Calvary. No. Veronica, she was not trying to save Jesus. But these people, I reckon, these people were like, keep going, keep going, keep going. It's almost like, when you are on a marathon, there are people around the road. If you watched marathon or the cycling in the France, you will see people handing over water. We think, you're trying to console them or support them. No, they're thinking, keep going, because if you stop here, you're not going to win it. Stay with the process. So Simon, Cyrene, Veronica, the woman of Jerusalem, all these people, what they were doing, Jesus, stick with the process, carry the cross. Because if you stop here now, if you leave the cross now, we will not be saved. Go all the way. Go all the way. Because the goal is not yet achieved. But Simon's help was indeed a consolation. Veronica's tenderness was indeed a help. The sympathies of women of Jerusalem was indeed consoled Jesus. God will provide certain Simons in our lives. He will provide the tenderness of Veronicas in our lives. There will be people who will deeply sympathize with us. There will be a John who we will call beloved. There will be a mother-like person who look at us, watch us as we go through this time, the process that changes us, the process that strips away every bit of ego in us. They are not there to stop the process, but they are there to remind us, go through the process, because it is through this you will be a better version. It is through this you will be the best version. My dear brothers and sisters, if you are going through a process of change, if you are going through a process of humiliation, where you really have to get up and things that you never wanted to do, maybe counseling, maybe an assessment, maybe a study, maybe you are a husband asked to go to some anger management class, and you are going through your own darkness time, trying to figure out what to do in your marriage. If you are someone who is going through a process, I encourage you, Stick with it. Go forward with it. And there are times you feel like giving up, not passing the baton. You feel the heaviness of the cross that you carry, the guilt that you carry. If you are honest to the process, if you're faithful to the cross, there will be a Simon. There will be certain Veronicas. There will be people sympathizing with you. I had a family when I went through a crisis. He told me one day, I don't care what you are going through. I don't want you to explain to me or justify me. What a relief when people talk like that. I don't want to explain to me. I don't want to justify me. I just love you for who you are. Just come home, open the fridge. If you see anything, eat it. That's your room. Sleep there. Don't worry about getting up or joining for any family activities. Take your time. There will be people like that in our lives who gives us space. So never be afraid of the process. Never be afraid of the fire. Never be afraid of the sharp tools God will use us to shape us. Stick with the process. Finally, a clinical study once said, the joy is not reaching the goal. The joy is actually having a goal, a supreme high goal. So having a goal is joy, and going towards that each day is a joy. So joy is not reaching a goal. Joy is actually progressing towards that goal each day. That's how I found my courage. That's where I found my hope. Yes, I'm doing everything I can to really resurrect my life. I'm doing everything asked of me. I'm being faithful to the process so I can get back into ministry. I can get back into being the person who I was. Stick with the process. Journey towards the goal. If you need to take a break, take a break. My dear brothers and sisters, I'm very grateful that you are joining me and journeying with me. I wish you all the very best. My gratitude can't be expressed in words. Because if you are going through, once you come out of it, you will become wiser. Not because you are old, but because you suffered. And this process has changed me and taught me many things. And I hope one day you will be able to share the wisdom that you gathered through your pain. I'll see you in the next episode, discussing more about hope in time of transition. God bless you.
My life is a miracle. Every child has a story of God's love to share. Shalom world, tune into God's love story.